Have you ever wondered what actual pirates were like? Beyond the parrots, eye patches, and farm mateys that we see in movies? No, I did. I grew up loving pirates before I realized that they weren't necessarily the best people. But at the time, I loved everything about pirates. I used to read pirate books before going to bed. Pirates of the Caribbean was and still is one of my favorite movie franchises. I still want you guys to bring Johnny Depp back. But anyway, pirates have always just fascinated me. Even just video games and media, everything in that has always interested me. So I figured I'd take some time, about 20 to 25 minutes of your time, go through some actual pirate history. So today we're diving into the real history of piracy, the violence, the politics, the hidden economics, and the surprising truth about how much of criminals changed global trading forever. There's from Blackbeard to Anne Bonny, from royal navies to treasure maps. This is the true, unfiltered story of the golden age of piracy. Grab your cutlasses, or at least your headphones, and let's set sail. So, why did piracy explode? Piracy didn't just happen at random. It exploded because the world changed, and it changed fast. Between 1650 and 1730, European empires fought over the Americas. Spain, England, France, and even the Netherlands battled for gold, sugar, and traded routes. This created privateers, legal pirates, with permission from kings to attack enemy ships. When wars ended, permissions were revoked. Thousands of armed, unemployed sailors suddenly had one skill: stealing ships. From that, piracy exploded. So, what did a pirate life actually look like? Real pirate life was brutal, but surprisingly democratic. Captains were voted in and out. Crews received compensation for injuries. Pirate ships were multi-racial crews. Life was risky. Storms, disease, starvation, and naval attacks. Still, many preferred pirate freedom over harsh Navy discipline. There are probably many famous pirates that you can think of. Whenever I say a pirate, probably think Blackbeard or the Dread Pirate Roberts if you played video games. But there were multiple different ones. I do want to touch on Blackbeard first, just because he is probably one of the most popular pirates whenever it came to piracy. His real name was Edward Teach. He used fear more than he ever used violence, burning fuses from the end of his beard to make him look demonic. He once blockaded Charleston, holding an entire colony hostage. I'm just trying to imagine someone literally lighting the end of their beard on fire. Not really, because it was fuses, but still. Just the sheer lunacy of someone. But anyway, so Anne Bonny and Mary Read, they were two legendary female pirates. Anne Bonny was fierce. Mary Read had distinguished herself as a man for years. When their crew was captured, Anne famously shouted, "If you had fought like men, you'd not be taken like dogs." And you also have Black Bart Roberts, captured over 400 ships, more than any pirate in known history. He enforced rules, avoided chaos, and nearly halted the entire Atlantic trade by himself. Then you have Captain Kidd, pirate hunter turned accused pirate, likely political framing. His buried treasure was probably never real. So I want to tell you guys some pirate myths versus some actual reality. You'd be surprised how many of these I thought were true. So one of the myths were pirates buried treasure. So this is actually false. They normally spent their money very quickly. When I was doing this video, was very shocked to learn that they didn't. As a kid, I used to, when we'd go to the beach down in Florida, I'd used to think, I wonder if I'm going to dig up any buried treasure on here. I was very wrong. Myth number 2. Pirate said, "Arr." That was actually invented in the 1950s by an actor. It's another one I didn't know when I started making this video. And then I have myth number 3 for you. Hooks and peg legs were common. They were actually rare and highly impractical. I always thought they were impractical. Didn't know that they were rare. Number 4. Pirate codes were fictional. Real pirate ships did have written codes, written rules. So, how did piracy come to an end? We still see it to this day with when we hear about different movies, TV. There's still, you see inklings of piracy nowadays. You'll hear about trade ships getting, taken over by people who have come aboard. That is technically still piracy. But piracy and how we think of it ended around 1718 when pirates coordinated to create an anti-piracy campaign. Pardons were offered, remaining pirates were hunted. Just like that, pirates started dying off. Blackbeard died in a 5-on-1 battle. Black Bart fell to the British Navy. Armed merchant ships made piracy extremely unprofitable. And with that, the Golden Age ended within a decade. That's right. A lot of the piracy that we think of nowadays ended within a decade. So, in conclusion, pirates weren't movie villains or heroes. They were skilled sailors, rebels, criminals, and survivors who changed global trading and left behind a legend filled with myth and truth. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.